Hello and welcome back to my page. This video is sponsored by Cronin's Cider. God bless them and all belong to them. Fantastic Irish owned alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverage company down in Kerry. Anyway, this week I headed off to a match in the aforementioned Kerry. Went through a lot of the villages. I was heading down to Valentia Island for the day. Came into Killarney, but I had a bit of a head cold, so I stopped off and got some Sudafed. And then I hit another roundabout. The mountains were tickling me. They were like, oh, look, we're beautiful. But I was like, look, Cork is great as well. But the sky was enchanting as well. Came into Killarney, whose whole identity is based around a goat. But in fairness to them, they have a spectacular town. And yesterday, it was tickling my scrotum. Look how beautiful it is. You know, ready for St. Patrick's Day. Yesterday was the 16th. The sky was beautiful. The town itself, you could eat your dinner off the floor. Fair play, Killarney. Lone Rangers is the club in Killarney. Anyway, I got out and I started heading towards Valentia. And I have to say, the scenery was just breathtaking. Came into Glen Bay then, and tragedy struck as Glen Bay had the very intelligent idea to have their St. Patrick's Day parade a day before St. Patrick's Day, not telling the tourists. But then I noticed that I was outside a pitch and cars were making their way in. And I said, fuck it. So I ambled up.
How much is it?
Paid the man the money, and Glen Bay Glencar against Lone Rangers was the match that I was going to go and see now. A county senior Division 1. Look at this, real grass on the kids' pitch. This is how Kerry are so good. The attention to detail is amazing. Look at that, real grass for the children to play on. This pitch I'm giving this pitch a solid 8 out of 10. The grounds were amazing. They can hold their heads high. Look at this. This is like the dugout. It's like a soccer dugout. They even have a hurling pitch. Down in Kerry. Look at this. Good enough nick as well for Kerry. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. A hurling pitch in South Kerry. Yeah. Beautiful. Look at the backdrop. Some of the parade then turned around inside in the grounds, and I got to look at some of these beautiful vintage cars and an impromptu Irish session. God bless Ireland. The spoons, the banjo, and the obligatory bales of hay. I went out onto the road then to see if the mayhem was still in full flow, and it was. You gotta love Kerry. I tried to ring my wife, but there was no internet connection, and I have a flurry of shows next year. Please come and see them. Get onto my website, www.corneliuspatrickosullivan.com. I've got shows all over Ireland, including Kerry and the INEC. The warm-ups were in full flow. Beautiful. Sensational. Last minute instructions by the Glen Bay coach. This guy's getting his socks on. And then the warm-up match. Sometimes I nearly prefer warm-ups to matches. Lone Rangers versus Glen Bay Glencar. There is about 15 miles between these two, maybe 20 miles between these two. And Lone Rangers came out of the blocks flying. And within the first minute and a half, they were winning by, would you believe it, 4 points. What a start. It was a physical encounter, and you could tell that the standard was reasonably high. This is the highest division in Kerry. Now, it's still early in the season. I think this was the first league game, so there was a lot of mistakes, but that's to be expected. But the point kicking and the goal getting was exemplary. The defending by Lone Rangers in this match was what I was most impressed with. absolutely ferocious defending. And this is the Cronin Cider Choose to Be Extraordinary moment of the match. He just flicks it up and passes it in, and it results in a score. I love a little chip pass. This guy was the guy that I couldn't take my eyes off of for Glen Bay, number 14. He had a beautiful kicking style, and anytime he got the ball, he looked dangerous. But for me, this game was all about defence. And Lown Rangers were absolutely imperious in defending. They genuinely were. They hardly gave away a free. Obviously, they had to give away the odd free, but they just defended exceptionally. This guy's slow down here just to show you how beautiful his poise is. This is the goal. Of course, the camera kind of stalled there, so we couldn't see it properly, but it brought the game back into life, and all of a sudden there was only 2 points between them, and I thought, we might have a game here. Great setup, fantastic backdrop, but this goal then put the game to an end, really. I met Chris from the Brand Geeks then. Shout out to the Brand Geeks in Killorglin. And he was there supporting Lown Rangers. He actually told me how to pronounce Lown Rangers, because I was pronouncing it Lauren Rangers. He said, don't fucking do that. This is a long distance shot. Look at this. It's just dripping up, and the backdrop of the mountain in the background. Ugh. I mean, that is orgasmic, lads. I'm sorry now. It's a man's game. No, there's ladies football as well. I'm not being sexist. Look at that. Oh my God. Very little between them at half time, and yeah, you gotta admire subs just running. Look at the sky. Look at the sky. Could they come out and do the business in the second half? The chips were against them. They were down. They were at home. This is them trudging out. The ball was into the sky, and straight away Glen Bay were back on the attack, and number 14 got the first score of the second half. Suicide spare. But Lown Rangers, I think they had the better footballers on the day, and I obviously don't know anything about these two clubs, so this is just an independent, honest review. And their defending and attacking was unparalleled on the day. Number 14 showed a lot, but I think he could have done. And look, he gets taken down here. This is, I slowed this down. This was a free out. It should have been a free in. And once he didn't get this free, number 14's head went, and with that, then all their chances went too. In my opinion, it's not a one-man team, but like, he was their talisman. Defending here is just impeccable. There's no way in, and they're not drawing, and there's no free either. Just outstanding. No, you can't get in. Sorry, the door is closed by. Look at this, just tracking back as well. And then going forward, the blue and white of Lown Rangers, they really were the team of the day. Nice kicked point there by 14 from Glen Bay again, but the tenacity in the defence. Look at this. Just look at this. And then they break the ball here. Break the ball and end up getting a score the far side. And then they just plop them over bit by bit. Bit by bit. Bit by bit. I headed away then, lads. Double scores. God, Kerry was a ride. I was alright. Anyway, thanks to Cronin Cider. I went for a drink with my son then to watch Newcastle beat Liverpool. Happy days. See you next week.